Alright, so Ice Impale versus Super Glue. This was a pretty hotly suggested comparison that I should do. So here we go. So if you're not aware already, the Super Glue got a change in the 8.0 update, where basically instead of perma-stunning Moabs, it's no longer 100% slow, it's only 90%. And to compensate, it basically got a price cut and extra damage on top, so it went from 0 damage to 50. And what do you know, the Ice Impale is also 50 damage. And it also, I believe, slows by 90%, although I'm not 100% sure, but either way, the Super Glue is pretty much Ice Impale 2.0 now, based on how it looks on paper, so let's see it for real now. But first, cost. The Ice Impale sells for 29,000, and the Super Glue sells for 35k, so you should expect that the Super Glue should be better than the Ice Impale. Otherwise, there's no use in using this guy. And Ninja Kiwi just changed the glue to make it redundant. But either way, let's test Pierce first. So I believe the Super Glue has only 8 Pierce. And let me just show you, we'll send out 9 invisible balloons. And it should be doing about 8 damage on impact. Or over time, as you see there, yep. You see it ticks by 8 every time, as in this stack over here. And I believe Ice Impale has 30 Pierce, so that's a pretty big difference, isn't it? So yeah, 8 versus 30, pretty big difference there. So already the new Super Glue isn't looking so hot. Okay, so let's test some actual rounds now. So let's say 92 for example. 92's got a long clump of 4 to 5 Moabs, so we'll see how well the Super Glue does in stopping it, so let's play. So I have a feeling here that the Super Glue is going to, not handle this wave at all. Like you see it's slowly getting overwhelmed just because the Pierce isn't enough. It's only able to slow down 8 mobs at a time. And there's like 30 right here. So yeah, they're just gonna walk right by. Feels bad. And as for Ice Impale round 92, let's take a look. Let's take a look at that sweet, sweet slow that the Ice Impale's got. And right now, well, it's holding up pretty well. I see the mobs are getting further and further each time, but is it enough? Seems like the Ice Impale is actually popping it a lot better than the Super Glue, even though they have the same damage. Although I don't know if it's because of like the icicles or maybe because of the Pierce. Like you see this time no mobs are passing by. So yeah, I don't know what to say here other than maybe the Super Glue needs another change. Because I don't think the 8.0 changes went in the right direction for the glue. Okay, let's assume maybe that was a fluke. Maybe DDTs might suit the Super Glue better, so like maybe 95 for example, let's play. We'll just ignore all these balloons at the start. But yeah, next test on the table, DDTs. How well is the Super Glue at stopping it, and can it actually pop it? Let's see over here. I have it on strong, I believe. Wait, no, it's on first. Let's put it on strong now. I know I put it on strong a little late, but right now it's not even looking. Not even close. Like, the Pierce limit, it's already getting hits. The damage, insignificant. Everything, insignificant. Oh, this is a terrible round for the Super Glue. Okay, reset. Let's try 99. That one has a little bit less balloons, because we already know that the Pierce is really low on this guy. Only 8. Although, granted, this round still has a lot of balloons too, but might do a little better this time. I don't know. There's like 9 fortified DTs, and yeah. They're all getting through because of the Moabs. Let's take a look. Ice Impale versus 99. So actually is not doing that well, okay. Maybe I was wrong to harp on the Super Glue, because that actually was pretty poor by the Ice Impale. A lot of balloons seemed to get through, but it did kind of redeem itself at the end. It actually popped a few DTs, but still miles better than the Super Glue, obviously. So let's test again, 95. Ice Impale should be on strong. And how we doing? Seems a lot of them seem to miss, or maybe the radius of the Ice Blast is really small, because you see right now, there's a bunch of DTs that are just like walking by, even though the Ice Impale has a lot of Pierce. It doesn't seem to be hitting all of them, that's kind of weird. But yeah, maybe we'll just test plain DDTs. Let's try 25 of them all at once. So like this. Play. Let me just see if that was a fluke or what. No, it seems like the Ice Impale doesn't slow down DTs for long enough, looks like. Okay, and how about the Super Glue? 25 of them again. Again, it's probably gonna get overwhelmed because the Pierce isn't that great, but it looks like the splash radius of the glue is a lot bigger than the Ice Impale. That's why they're all clumping up right now. But now that hits a Pierce cap, yeah, things go sour. Yeah, and the rest are just gonna waddle on by. Okay, so I can at least give 1 point to the Super Glue in that the splash radius is bigger than the Ice Impale's, but that's not really saying much, because everything else it loses at. So we've pretty much tested everything practical to use for these kind of upgrades, these towers. But I want to test one more thing, and that's round 100. Because maybe if we're talking about pure damage, maybe it's better to get the Super Glue instead of the Ice Impale. Like, who knows, maybe the Super Glue actually attacks faster than the Ice Impale. I didn't take a look there, so I'm not quite sure, but we'll see over here. Which one does more damage to a single target balloon? So the Super Glue did get a little head start there because of the line of sight, but let's see. We're going to switch back and forth. And no, already it looks like the Ice Impale is running away with it, man. It's just running away with the lead, and let's take a look at the end. 1700 for the Glue Gunner. 28 for the Ice Impale, so yes. Even in terms of damage, DPS, Ice Impale still wins by far. Okay, I lied. There's one more thing I want to test. I just want to see how long the effect lasts on the Moab, because maybe the Super Glue will shine in that regard versus the Ice Impale. Let's see. So we're going to sell this guy immediately, like this. See how long the slow lasts for. And let's take a look at when it runs out. Okay, so the glue's still on it, but it actually went back to normal speed. And now the glue is off, and it seems to be moving at the same speed. Okay, that's kind of weird. The glue stays on longer than it actually slows. But overall, the slow time on the mob isn't really that long. But is it longer than the Impale? Let's see. Again, sell it once after it hits. So, like this. And how long is it going to last, the Ice Impale? Okay, that's a lot shorter than the Super Glue. So, hooray! Super Glue gets another point. Although, again, it's not really a practical point, because there's probably never a situation where you're going to sell your Ice Impale in the middle of a round, or your Super Glue. So yeah, verdict? Ice Impale wins, by far. Alright, so here we're going to test bloonjitzus versus a grandmaster. Is getting multiple bloonjitzus more efficient than getting a grandmaster? Probably yes, but let me just see for certain here. And to start off, we're going to see how much a 401 costs. So one 401 sells for 4k, and a 501 sells for 32k. So it looks like about 8 Jitsus is worth 1 Grandmaster. So we'll keep that in mind as we test on Cornfield here. So let me just position my Grandmaster in a good spot, and let's try a single target balloon. One bad. How much damage will it do? I'm probably going to try testing this with an Alchemist later too. Although, because of the nerf, it definitely will not do as well on a Grandmaster versus a 401, I'll tell you that right now. It seems like a lot of people stopped using this guy ever since the Alchemist nerf, because, well, the Alchemist buffed the Grandmaster so much that that's really the only reason it was viable. But now it's probably more efficient just to go for 401s and add Alchemist on top. Because as you see right now, the damage is pretty pitiful. Only 4,000. And for a tower that's generally meant for its Molpon power, I mean, that 4k is a little disappointing. Alright, 8 Jitsus, let's go. Each Jitsu here only has to do 500 damage, and I'll pass the Grandmaster. So I have a feeling it's going to pass that pretty easily, but let's just see for certain here. Okay, just barely past 500. Just barely. This one's got 600 because it's probably in the best spot possible. But yeah, if we just take on average, each one does like, I don't know, looks like around 550 on average. We got an overall damage of about 4,400, which is obviously better than Grandmaster. So, Jitsu's 1, Grandmaster 0. Test number 2 here, pure DPS, 300 blank balloons. And as you see here, 1944 damage, alright, 1944. Keep that in mind. And just for laziness, I'm going to extrapolate here. Just do 1401. And how much potential damage we got out of this guy? 288. Okay, so if we times that by 8, looks like we got about 2300, which is better than the Grandmaster Ninja. So even in pure DPS, the Jitsu does have more out of it than a Grandmaster. So is there anything the Grandmaster is actually good at? Because right now it's not looking hot. How about we try DTs? How does that sound? We'll put them all under a MIB, of course, just to get the most out of it, and let's see if DTs does well for the Grandmaster here. So far the answer looks like no, damn. Grandmaster doesn't even come close. So honestly, just based on this, it looks like the Grandmaster is just a worse version of an Archmage. Now for 8 Jitsus, I just made sure to get them all under the range of a MIB here, so that's why I got 3. I think the Grandmaster got like halfway through all DTs here. And it looks like the Grandmasters, it feels like they did a little more damage to the DTs, but it still went through. So let me try a little bit less DTs. A little bit weaker, around 80. Try some non-free play DTs here. And let's see if we can pop some of them, and it does, okay. Let me try them a little more spaced apart then. Maybe that'll help. 10 spacing. Okay, looks like spacing is going to help with DTs a little bit, but it's still going to fall behind after like the 4th DT there. And we'll try with the same round. Gotta make sure it pops at least one DT here, and alright. Looks like it's doing a slightly better job, about the same honestly as Jitsu's. Granted, these ones aren't gonna pop compared to the other Jitsus which did pop. Let's try with 5 spacing again. See how those do. Okay, so it's about the same as a Jitsu, honestly. The first 3 DTs popped, and the rest did not pop. So if we're talking about DT pop power, looks like both are about equal. And now for the test that ruined the Grandmaster's reputation, we're gonna add a 402 Alchemist, because that's what we used to do before the updates, before they nerfed the Alchemist that made this combo really bad. And well, we're just gonna test pure DPS. Same thing as the other test. So verdict looks like about 8,000, which is still a decent buff mind you, but just not as good as before. Alright, so this time we got 7 Jitsus instead of 8, just to make the price even, because we're gonna add one more Alchemist, just so, well, they get more buffs around the Jitsus. And let me just see how much overall damage these guys can put out. Alright, let's add them up real quick. 1600 plus 19, that's 35. This guy got very little because did not get an Alchemist buff. 38, 47, 55, 65, and 75. Alright, very, very close. Looks like the Grandmaster does edge it a little bit there. But let me try, instead, 6 Jitsus and 3 Alchemists. Again, the price is about the same. Because generally for every 2 towers, you want to get 1 Alchemist. Because that's about as much as they can buff, like, with 100% uptime. Alright, test number 3000. Let me just make sure all of them got the buff this time. How much damage overall we got? So 15 on this guy, 29, 43, 58, 77, and 93, okay. So there we go, we just gotta get better placements for Alchemist. Make sure all of them got the buff, and overall, it does edge out the Grandmaster Ninja by a decent amount. So honestly, I really don't see any use for Grandmaster Ninja in this meta. Even without an Alchemist, it's still worse than a Jitsu efficiency-wise. The only time you ever want this guy is probably if you just want to conserve space, or if the map does not have any space, but still, Jitsus are really tiny as a footprint, so the space really shouldn't make or break the difference here. But yeah, I'm gonna hand the crown over to the Jitsus this time.